Hey there viewers, it's Charlie. I'm back again with yet another Transformers review. And today's review subject is going to be on Energon Demolishor. Now, before I start, I know what you're probably thinking. Wait, Demolishor? This guy looks like Longhole. And I will assure you, this is not Longhole. I mean, officially, it's not supposed to be a Longhole. Instead, this is supposed to be an upgraded version of Demolishor from Armada. How someone can go from a tank to a dump truck is beyond me. But, anyways, let's just have a 360 of this guy. The side is a bit broken up, but you'll see why soon. The back's a bit gappy, although I probably got this guy transformed wrong, I'm not sure. Often I struggle to transform this guy back into his vehicle mode. Here we have the front, which has these transclearance, that's not even a word, these translucent bits for the window. Got the spark crystal right here. And we got a small Decepticon insignia here. Underneath, which doesn't have that much robot junk aside from the legs. And if we look at the dumping bed, oh boy, that's a big insignia right there. I mean, that is just... So yeah, this guy has a ginormous Decepticon insignia right on his dumping bed. Now, before we move on, I need to show you something, as I have this guy's collector card. So yeah, there's your proof that this guy's actually named Demolishor. So yeah, and if we look at the back, we've got these details. So his strength is a 9, makes sense because he's supposed to be tough. Intelligence is a 7, sure. Speed, endurance, rank, and courage are all 5. His fire blast or fire power is 9, and his skill is 7. So yeah, fascinating. But enough on that. I need to show you a gimmick. If you're aware of Transformers Energon, you will be aware that all the Decepticons have hyper modes. For example, if you remember my review on Energon Megatron, his wings could flip out. I mean, sure. Starscream could have his wings flip to show missile launches. Shock Blast and Six Shot had satellite modes. And as for this guy, well, we fold this over and this bit can come off quite easily. So if you're looking for this guy in the secondary market, make sure he comes with this bit. And now I can't even get it back on, so excuse me. There we go, I've got it back on. But if we lift this up, and then lift up the dumping bed, without trying to move the grill, and if you just turn that around, we got this missile launcher. If we just shoot these at the camera, and that one just hit me, ow. But yeah, it fires these little green missiles. Normally it's supposed to come with 4, but with my copy I've only got 2, but I don't really mind. Now, as you can see, at the top, we have these little fake missiles. They don't fire. They're just there for decoration, and I am struggling to get this missile in. So if you'll just excuse me once again. There we go. Now if I just put this back. And the missiles are launched using these buttons here. Now, as we can see on the top, we have these mini-com ports, and unlike with Skywarp, who was my previous review, didn't do anything, because, well, the mini-cons were not Energon's main gimmick. It was more combining in hyper modes. But let's get to this guy's transformation, because if I had any other version of Longhole, I don't care if it was the G1 Longhole or Revenge of the Fallen Longhole. If I had an actual Longhole figure, I would compare that with him, with Demolishor here, but I don't right now, so... But let's just get Demolishor transformed. To start, just lift this bit up and fold that. Come to the back and just split the legs like so. And then if you can, try and grab the crotch bit so it can swing forward like that. And try and tap it in like so. Take the feet and move them like so. Now trying to adjust my camera. What we can do now is come here, move the windows down if you can. This is often a pain to do fully because these bits are rather tight hinges, so I'm just doing it off camera. Like so. Then move these down. And then move his elbows down. Like so if you can. Once again, these are on quite tight hinges. And now for his head reveal. If we come around to the back, we can see his head. So the best thing to try and do is... Oh, not that. Take his grill, lift that up, and then just move that forward. Then take the dumping bed, move that down like so. And here is Demolishor in his robot mode. So yeah, quite a unique transformation, especially how the grill works. Because if you saw that, pretty much what happens is the grill is just a cube thing, and what it does is it moves downward to expose this new robot chest and to show his head. But yeah, here we have Demolishor. It is robot mode. Having a 360, we can see that the dumping bed is now on his back. And I've had people complain that this makes him top heavy, but I haven't had any issues with him falling over yet. So now let's have a look at Demolishor's head. As we can see, this head is actually different from how Demolishor normally looks, because as we can see, instead of the one-eyed eye patch look that our Mono Demolishor had, this guy's his head's more symmetrical. He has this purple mohawk, it looks like, and it looks like he doesn't have a mouth. Instead it looks like he's got something that looks like trap jaw. And excuse the noise, my dog's being a chatterbox as he normally is, so just ignore him as I normally try to do. Because dogs often try to ruin whatever the humans are doing. But anyways, as I was saying, the mouth sort of reminds me of Trapjaw's mouth. But if I just get my camera back on. Now, his head sort of contradicts how he looks in the card. Because as you can see, it looks like he actually has a mouth on the card. So, yeah. But now, for Demolishor's articulation, his head can move like so. His head can actually look up, which I'll show later because that's intended for another mode. Hexagon transformation, his arms can do a 360. He can T-pose. Well, if I can get his bloody arm out. That's just too tight, but he can still T-pose nonetheless. If you move these bits up, he can actually shrug. And he's got elbows and sideways elbow action. Waist. I don't know if this counts. I guess maybe. I actually can't tell if he... Now, I'm just assuming I'm just spending that thing. So I'm just going to say... it's up to you to decide. But his legs can move forward that far. Can't move back that far due to the dumping bed. He can actually do the splits on a ratchet joint. And his feet can move. So yeah, pretty poseable. So, normally I would just end the review here because there's nothing else to say. But Demolishor has a robot mode hyper mode. And that's done by taking his head, moving that so he can look up. But then taking this bit and actually moving that forward like so. So now he's got this going on. And this is supposedly his hyper mode for his robot mode. That is just utterly ridiculous. I mean, his head is in his chest. I mean, this just looks utterly ridiculous. I mean, as you can see, the grill's now on his back. Now we just try and get this back on and move his... There we go. Now what you can do is, if you still want to do the hyper mode, but you don't want to have that stupid thing going on, what you can do is, you can just lift this up yourself, and you can untap this so it can move around. But if you want to have the hyper mode, I recommend just doing this, just keeping it up with your finger, like so. But not like enough so his head goes back in. So yeah, well, his vehicle mode hyper mode is a bit awkward. His robot mode hyper mode is just straight up ridiculous. But other than that, I love this figure. No, I'm just getting it. There we go. So that has been my review on Energon Demolishor. Now, do I recommend him? Definitely. This guy is quite cool. I mean, granted, you might not like the fact that this is supposed to be Armada Demolishor, but if you want to, you can repurpose this guy as an Energon version of Long Haul if you want to. Officially, there's no Energon Long Haul, but if you want to, you can repurpose this guy as Long Haul, as I probably will do in the future. Now, one thing I forgot to mention is, in Japan, this guy's named Iron Tread, and I think that's a much cooler name, so whether you call him Demolishor, Long Haul, or Iron Tread, I recommend getting this figure, as I really like this figure. So, that's been my review on Energon Demolishor, and this is Charlie Young, signing off.